When I die, I'll be dead. There's nothing to get when you're dead. Nothing to see, nothing to hear, nothing to understand or realize, because you're dead. Let's say I die, and once I die, there's a God sitting there telling me, I was real all along, but you stopped believing in me, so now you have to burn. For some reason, Christians think that if that were to happen to an atheist, that we'd be like, wait, no, please, let me into heaven. I want to be with you. I'm sorry for not believing. I get it now. That is the furthest thing from what my reaction would be. My reaction would be, so you've existed this entire time. You've been sitting up here watching your people suffer this entire time, picking and choosing which ones that you want to help and which ones you want to allow to suffer. So you exist, but you fucking suck. And I'll skip my happy ass to hell. Because regardless of how y'all try to spin this, regardless of how you try to make atheists and really just anyone who's not a Christian feel bad about not being a Christian, and you try to tell them, you'll see when you die, you're gonna get it once you're dead. Once you're dead, it's gonna be too late. Most of us wouldn't fuck with this God even if he did exist. One, because he made y'all, and y'all fucking suck. But also because he's a piece of shit all by himself. So if I die and it turns out that your God was actually the God in charge of everything, the only thing that I'm gonna get is the fuck away from him.
Here is the clear breakdown of what's going on in this video, again from a psychological, rhetorical, historical, and logical perspective, not a church angle. I'll break it down simply and cleanly. 1. This is no longer atheism. This is emotional rebellion. This video is not arguing God doesn't exist. It is arguing, even if God exists, I hate him. If he exists, I reject him on moral grounds. If he exists, I wouldn't want him. This is not atheism. This is anti-theism, a moral hostility toward the idea of Yahweh. People who are truly atheists say, I don't believe in God because there's no evidence. People who talk like this are saying, I don't want God to be real because I hate what the idea represents. Big difference. 2. Her entire argument is built on a caricature God, not the actual ancient worldview. She paints this picture. God sits in the sky doing nothing. He picks favorites randomly. He enjoys suffering. He lets people burn in hell for disbelief. He acts like a narcissistic dictator. This is not the picture from ancient Hebrew writings. This is not the picture from serious theology. This is the picture from angry ex-Christian TikTok culture. She is not debating Yahweh. She is debating a cartoon version created in her own mind. And she wins that debate because she designed the opponent to be evil. 3. Her tone reveals the core truth. She's not reasoning, she's venting. Her language isn't intellectual. He fucking sucks. I'll skip my happy ass to hell. Y'all fucking suck. He's a piece of shit. That kind of language is not philosophical. It's not skeptical analysis. It's emotional catharsis. She is not trying to understand the divine. She is expressing hatred toward the idea of God, shaped by either trauma, disappointment, resentment, or disdain for religious people in her life. This is not about logic. This is about pain turned into philosophy. 4. She imagines a God who behaves like a toxic father and rejects him. Psychologically, she is reacting to this imagined scenario. God exists. God saw suffering. God did nothing. God demands worship anyway. God punishes disbelief. What she is rejecting emotionally is the Christian hell model she thinks is real, not the full picture of ancient theology. In other words, she's rejecting the God she was taught about, not necessarily the real Yahweh. This is common among ex-Christian content creators. 5. She's turning her personal anger into universal certainty. She speaks like, most atheists think like this. Nobody would want this God. That is not representative of atheists. Most atheists don't believe, but aren't hostile, and don't fantasize about cussing out God if he existed. Her tone is very specific. It sounds like personal resentment disguised as universal truth. 6. Her reaction reveals the real source of the hostility. She says, so you exist, but you sat and watched people suffer? This is the classic problem of evil. But she is handling it emotionally, not philosophically. A philosopher would say, how can an all-powerful being allow suffering? Is free will a factor? Are there natural causes? Is the world still in process rather than finished? She doesn't ask any of these. She jumps straight to, "You suck." This is blame, not analysis. 7. She projects the faults of Christians onto God. She says, "We wouldn't want your God because you Christians suck." So she is rejecting God because of hypocrisy of Christians, behavior of online believers, negative experiences with religious people. That is a human problem, not a divine problem. But she merges the two. This is common in people hurt by religion. The line between God and the people who claimed to represent God becomes blurred. 8. Her fantasy of meeting God reveals emotional wounds. Imagining herself telling God, "You suck. I don't want you. I'd rather go to hell." This is symbolic rebellion. It's a reaction someone has after feeling unheard, uncared for, disappointed by religion, angry at suffering they experienced or witnessed. Whether she realizes it or not, she's not debating God, she's debating her past. 9. Again, this is a content strategy. Rage Against Religion is one of the most viral formats online right now. Creators know. Anger equals engagement. Mocking God equals controversy. Harsh language equals stronger emotional response. Anti-Christian content equals high viewership. So even if she is genuine in her feelings, she is also aware that this tone gets her clicks, followers, duets, stitches, arguments, attention. This is emotional performance packaged as philosophy. 10. Yes, she is attacking God. This is not questioning. This is not exploring. This is not analyzing. This is direct, intentional hostility toward God, the idea of God, the morality of God, and the people who believe in God. So yes, she is attacking God, but she's attacking the version of God she was taught, not necessarily the true nature of Yahweh.